I'm not trying to expose anyone here. I'm just trying to tell my story. Let me shamefully admit how I can relate to Risa Tisa's story.
Oh my God.
Lord, help me through this. I spent 5 years on and off, but mostly on, with somebody who has the characteristics of a covert narcissist. Now, I don't use that term loosely like a lot of people do these days because I actually was in denial of it. I was researching some things, trying to figure out why I was going crazy and how I could actually effectively change this toxic relationship and or fix things, fix me, fix him, whatever I was trying to do to create a healthier environment, gain my sanity back. And I kept coming across narcissism every time I looked up all of the things we were dealing with in our relationship. No lies, no exaggeration. So what do? The nerdy, geeky side of me goes into full-blown research, thinking I'm going to just solve this relationship, figure out how to take the blame again for everything just to get us into therapy and move forward.
For my regular subbies and Saving Squad and family, you're not going to see my high energy, bubbly self in this video. Maybe by part 3. But I want to kind of prepare you for that. But it's not that I'm defeated, guys. I'm way past this part and era of my life. I'm doing this in hopes to inspire you. Part 1 is going to be really sad. Sometimes you're going to see me fighting back tears and or just trying to not be embarrassed by some of the things I allow myself to go through. But I'm understanding therapeutically that a lot of this is obviously my conscious decision, but some of it is not my fault, as a lot of trickery and manipulation goes into these types of relationships. But I promise it's not just going to be sad stories and pity parties. I'm going to get you to a place of how to overcome these types of things and give you hope. Because I promise, if you're watching this video, you're probably somebody very filled with purpose and purpose-driven people and people who have a lot to offer and give and are on a mission, are more than often the ones attacked. And it's not just this relationship I'm going to be discussing. I'm going to be discussing other relationships and spiritual attacks, because literally for the past 5 years, that's what I have been feeling and going through. I fully understand and have embraced why, and I'm going to tell you how I overcame it and show you that it is possible, even in the darkest hour, to find peace and to learn how to lean on something bigger and greater than you. I'm going to be sharing my story in these phases a little backwards in part 1, but you'll understand a little more as to why in part 2.
There were no bounds to the lying and manipulation that happened in this relationship. I discovered that the 2 little girls referred to as his son's sisters for almost 2 years, actually a little over 2 years of knowing him, were actually his 2 children.
Quick warning, there may be a lot of pausing and or coming back because I don't want to be crying on camera.
His son's sisters, as they were often referred to. So when I started putting 2 and 2 together and finally called him out on it, he flipped the script on me and told me he never said they were not. Technically, he didn't. He always inferenced or used words that would make you assume, not just in a light way, because this is 2 years later, guys. 2 years. 2 years. That they were the children's mother, other children from another relationship. I mean, he may have even lied and actually said something at some point, but a lot of it was sort of like inferencing and things like that, and making me assume from the very beginning, if not, let's take them out of the equation, that he only had a son by her because he has older children. I'm making male-female references, but I'm trying not to say too much information because I'm not trying to expose anyone here. I'm just trying to tell my story because I know there are many people like me who are not weak empaths, and we feel guilty, we feel stupid, we feel less empowered because we go around empowering people to not accept things like this. And I realized that when you're dealing with someone who has the characteristics of a narcissist, I'm not diagnosing him with MPD or anything like that. I am saying they're strong, heavy, not to play with characteristics of narcissism that came into play in this toxic relationship. And when you have that going on, you really do get manipulated into it slowly, because they're not going to be that person for a long time, or for not always for a long time. But when it comes to somebody like me who's given pushback and who's not going to accept anything for a while. Now, once you're in with me, you're in, and I am very empathic, so it's easy to read me and take advantage of that. I consider myself to be a pretty strong personality. Yes, I'm nice. Yes, I'm very empathic, but I won't say no nonsense, but at times, and because of my divorce and things like that, yeah, I think I turned into somewhat of a no nonsense type of girl or woman. So back to the story about the children. He immediately became defensive and started blaming me. He started blaming me. Honey, this is just one of the many bizarre episodes in this toxic relationship. So I'm very calm, talking low. I'm usually very hype, energetic. And that's because this is the feeling I get when I talk about this, because of how exhausting and draining it was on me and my purpose and my personality. Because that's what they do. They come to drain you, to pull you from purpose. They come to take the very best of you that they liked, the things that they even liked about you and that others like about you, and make sure that they destroy it. I hate to say it like that, but that's the only way to put it. You know how the enemy comes. Kill, steal, destroy. And he'll use anybody who lets him. So I'm here. Obviously, I'm thriving, I'm surviving, I'm not destroyed. But you're going to have to stay tuned to find out how I made it through this toxic and ridiculous situation. Plus, you're going to hear a whole bunch more.